It was one of the most jaw-dropping moments on the tell-all. Kody Brown, arms crossed, his face red and tense, looking straight at Suki and saying, "I'm not going to be gaslit." Just like that, no hesitation, no irony, as if he hadn't just spent the entire segment dodging every single question about what actually went wrong in his family. And in that moment, the room shifted. You could feel the silence, the weight, the tension. Why was Kody so angry, so defensive, so silent? It wasn't just that he didn't want to talk and it felt like he couldn't, as if acknowledging what happened even a little would make his whole version of reality crumble right there on camera. And what made it even more unsettling? He wasn't just shutting down the conversation, he was trying to erase it altogether. Hi, friends, welcome back to TLC's Sister Wives Secret. I'm Aliva, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and tell me in the comments what you really think Kody was trying to hide. Because today we're not holding back. This story isn't just about marriage drama or who said what. It's much deeper than that. It's about emotional manipulation, gaslighting, and how silence can be just as loud as rage. It's about a man who spent years controlling the narrative and the women who are finally pulling back the curtain. Christine, Janelle, and even Mary, they've all had their own breaking points. But no one has been more vocal, more raw, and more fearless than Christine. And that's exactly why Kody wants to shut her down. In this video, we're going to walk through what really happened in those tense scenes, the real meaning behind Cody's words, and why his refusal to face the truth says more than anything he could have said out loud. Stick with me, because the truth about Kody Brown is hiding in plain sight, and we're finally going to say it. When Kody Brown told Suki she was gaslighting him, something just didn't sit right. You could see it on her face. That moment of confusion, like she was wondering, did he really just say that? And yeah, he did. He actually accused a professional host of emotionally manipulating him just for asking basic, honest questions. But here's the thing. Kody doesn't seem to understand what that word actually means, and he throws it around like it's some kind of shield to deflect accountability. So let's break it down in simple terms. Gaslighting isn't just disagreeing with someone. It's not being called out or feeling uncomfortable. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where someone, usually in a position of power, tries to make you question your own memory, your own perception, your entire sense of reality. It's not about hurting feelings, it's about control. It's about twisting the truth so tightly that the other person starts to doubt themselves instead of calling out the abuse. Now let's go back to the tell-all. Kody wasn't being gaslit. He was being asked very gently about his behavior, about the collapse of his relationships, and about why he still can't take ownership of the pain he caused. Instead of answering, he spun the moment around. Suddenly, he was the victim, not the women who lived through years of emotional neglect, confusion, and control, not the kids who watched their family crumble. No, somehow Kody painted himself as the one being wronged. And that's not the first time he's done it. If you followed Sister Wives closely, you've seen it. One moment, Kody says he wants to build bridges, maybe even hang out with Christine and David. The next minute, he shuts it all down, claiming Christine is undermining him. One episode, he admits to having a strained relationship with his kids, and the next, he's insisting he's just misunderstood. It's contradiction after contradiction, and it's not by accident. It's a pattern. Confusion is his tool. Because if you can keep people disoriented, doubting what they know, then you don't have to change. You don't have to take responsibility. That's the real danger here. Kody keeps positioning himself as the wounded party, the man just trying to live his life while everyone else is out to get him. But when you're the one who held the power in all of these relationships, calling yourself the victim is not just dishonest, it's manipulation in real time. And Christine, she's not confused anymore. That's the problem for him. She sees it clearly now, and she's not staying quiet. Kody Brown has one consistent habit. He avoids accountability like it's the plague. In the tell-all, when asked directly about his past choices and how things fell apart, he didn't explain. He didn't reflect. He deflected. Over and over, he shut down the conversation with long, awkward silences, blank stares, and just enough vague words to keep the spotlight off him. It's like the moment anyone tries to hold him to his own words, he scrambles to change the subject or twist the meaning. One of the most telling moments was when he called Christine undermining. That word hit like a warning shot. Not upset, not difficult, undermining. A word that means slowly weakening someone's authority, their power, their influence. And in that moment, it became painfully clear. Kody doesn't see Christine as a person with feelings. He sees her as a threat to his control. He wasn't talking about her behavior. He was talking about her ability to expose the truth he's trying so hard to hide. What's even more revealing is how he backpedaled on the idea of ever meeting Christine and David. First, he pretended he was open to it, maybe even a guy's weekend. Then, the second it seemed real, he shut it down. No, we wouldn't do that. He couldn't even pretend to be civil when faced with the reality of Christine moving on and being happy. Because for Kody, it's not about healing. It's about control. And when he's not in control, he checks out. When Christine filed for custody, child support, and legal paternity, Kody's reaction wasn't just frustration, it was rage. And not the kind you shout about. This was a silent, brooding anger that showed up in every glance, every pause, every refusal to answer during the tell-all. At one point, he even claimed Christine had promised not to take legal action against him. And that right there says everything. That promise? That's Kody revealing exactly what kind of control he still thought he had over her. Even after the spiritual marriage ended. Even after she moved out. Even after she found happiness with David. Kody still expected Christine to play by his rules. He didn't just want a clean break. He wanted continued submission, no questions asked. And the moment Christine stood up for herself and for Truly in court, Kody took it personally. Because for him, it was never about co-parenting, it was about control. Let's not forget, this is the same man who, for years, barely showed up for Truly. Viewers watched it happen. The missed visits, the lack of involvement, the absence. And then suddenly, when Christine makes it legal, Kody lashes out and files a counterclaim. Not because he wants custody, but because he wants to win. Or more accurately, he doesn't want her to win. That's not co-parenting. That's spite. That's control in disguise. Because even after walking away from the marriage, Kody still wanted the last word. And Christine? She refused to give it to him. Instead, she went through the courts. And that's why he was seething in Sedona. Not because she betrayed him, but because she finally stopped letting him call the shots. Kody loves to say that the internet has it all wrong about him. That people on social media just don't understand, that the commentary is biased, unfair, twisted. But here's the thing. When the same patterns show up over and over again on camera, when the people closest to you are all telling the same story, it's not just internet gossip. It's a mirror. And Kody hates looking in it. In the tell-all, you could see it all over his face. The tension, the defensiveness, the anger simmering under every forced smile. He didn't want to be there. Not because the questions were unfair, but because they were real. And when Suki pressed him, even gently, he dodged. Changed the subject. Stared into silence. He'd rather protect the image of who he thinks he is than deal with the reality of what he's done. Now look at Christine and Janelle. These women stood in front of the same cameras, the same host, and they told the truth. Messy, painful, vulnerable truth. They didn't sugarcoat it. They didn't hide behind vague statements. They owned their experiences even when it hurt. That's the difference. Kody wants to preserve a version of himself that no longer exists. Christine and Janelle, they want healing. They want peace. And that starts by calling things what they are. Abuse, manipulation, abandonment, and setting boundaries that protect their peace. That's how you reclaim your power. That's how you move forward. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard.